Good evening. This is Kilo Alpha 6 Echo Tango Echo, and welcome to the Colorado 4x4 Rescue and Recovery Net. This net meets every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on the Rocky Mountain Radio League 146.940 repeater, located on Squaw Mountain, just west of Denver. The purpose of this net includes testing our ham radio's communications to ensure everything is in working order prior to heading into the backcountry and to provide our members, volunteers, and the general public a chance to get on the airwaves to practice ham radio use. For those of you listening in and don't know who we are, Colorado 4x4 Rescue and Recovery is an all-volunteer 501c3 nonprofit organization specializing in vehicle recoveries on 4x4 trails. We also have a search and rescue emergency support team that provides emergency support to local and state agencies through large area vehicle-based search, person extraction, backcountry access support, communication support, and other means. We never charge for our services and operate entirely on donations and membership dues nationwide. All dues and donations received support our recovery and rescue missions, as we have no paid positions. We do this through a pool of fantastic members and volunteers and have performed more than 500 recoveries in the last few years. If you'd like to learn more, please visit our website at www.co4x4rnr.org after the net. This net may be interrupted at any time for emergency or priority traffic. If you need to use the system for an emergency during the net, please say break followed by your call sign. Net control will acknowledge you and suspend the net until you advise that you are clear. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? Remember, if you wish to be acknowledged by net control, simply announce your call sign and wait for net control to acknowledge you. As we hold this net, please remember to allow the repeater to drop completely in between transmissions to allow for emergency and priority traffic to break if needed. At this point, we will start check-ins. Please remember to announce your call sign slowly and clearly using the standard ITU phonetic alphabet, along with your name and location. Do we have any board members of Colorado 4x4 Rescue and Recovery that would like to check in at this time? Hearing nothing, do we have any members of Colorado 4x4 Rescue and Recovery that would like to check in at this time?
Echo 0. Echo 0, Uniform Charlie, X-ray, RJ, at Denver.
Net control would like to acknowledge KE0PHM, Gary, KE0UCX, RJ. Do we have any other members of Colorado 4x4 Rescue and Recovery that would like to check in at this time? Hearing nothing, we'll open check-ins for anyone and everyone. If you'd like to check in, please call now.
Kilo Echo.
Net Control would like to acknowledge KE0OYO Justin and KE0TYJ Mike. Do we have anyone else that would like to check in at this time? Please call now.
K1 COL, 5 zone. I don't know if you got my check-in. Stepped out.
Net Control acknowledges K1 COL Keith. No, I did not get your check-in. I didn't hear you come through on the repeater. One last round. Do we have anyone else that would like to check in at this time? Hearing nothing, we'll get moving on. Please remember, if you've not checked in and want to check in later, we do accept late check-ins throughout the net, and at the end of the net, we'll take a round of late check-ins. Before we get started, do we have anyone that has any trail reports, trip updates, or any trips they are planning currently? Please call now. Hearing nothing, we'll move on to our topic of discussion for tonight, which is radio etiquette and repeater use etiquette. Anyone have anything they would like to start with, whether it's something you've noticed that you don't like, or a comment you have to try and help other people with what good etiquette is or what you see good etiquette is? Please call now.
K0OYO. I noticed that. We'll get on our computer. Talk back and forth. No pause or space.
E0OYO, yeah, definitely that's a big one that I've noticed, and one that I feel that people should definitely learn proper etiquette on that. Run into it a lot of times where people be talking on the net and they will not leave a break anywhere to save themselves. It's very discouraging, especially for new hams, not being able to get on a repeater, and whenever they do get a chance, they feel like they're interrupting something because they don't leave breaks for people to join in on the conversation. That's what ham radio is about: talking and meeting new people on the air, and the camaraderie between the hams. And we're all here for the fun of the hobby, and we need to support each other in it. Anyone have anything they would like to add to that? And this is Ka6 ETE, net control for this evening's Colorado 4x4 Rescue and Recovery Net. If you'd like to add to the comment, please call now. Hearing nothing, I'll move on to a different part of radio etiquette, is talking plain language. Too many times you hear people bringing over stuff that they learned on CB radio and everything else, 10 codes, all the code talk. Ham radio is about plain language, talk so everyone can understand you. And chances are you're going to be talking to someone that isn't from your area or country. They don't know what slang terms we use here or what codes we use. Talking plain English, it's the basis of radio communications, and it's language that everyone talks on radio, for the most part anyway. Anyone want to add to that? Hearing nothing, I'll ask a question of everyone. This one comes in with frequency rights, or what some people believe. And your thoughts and understanding, who has the right to stay on a frequency? Is it the people that thought they were on it first, or the people that happen to come across them? It can be a tough decision to make. What do you do in that circumstance? Please call now.
So, OYO. I don't know if I'm fully understanding your question, but you come across your repeater and you hear people talking, and are they in the right of way, or are you? Is that what you're asking?
This is Ka6ET, net control for this evening's Colorado 4x4 Rescue and Recovery Net. The question, it could go either way, whether it's a repeater frequency or simplex frequency. Mainly simplex, but on a repeater, if you're talking on and someone else tries breaking in, acknowledging them, giving them a chance to talk, to see what's going on, meet new people, mostly on a simplex frequency. If you're out somewhere and you and your buddies are talking back and forth, and then you start hearing someone else on it, who has the right to stay on the frequency, if anyone, and what should you do in that circumstance?
Co4x4 RnR Net. I feel that it should be common courtesy in the test questions, common courtesy to move or include them in your conversation if they want to chat with you.
That is exactly my understanding as well. And the way I always try and explain it to people is there's no way of knowing who was on the frequency first. The two groups could have just been moving closer together and finally within simplex range of each other. And you don't know who got on it first. And if you're the first one to notice someone else on the frequency, I feel that you should be the one that would move. You should be the one that moves frequency if you do not want to join conversations together. Like you said, common courtesy. When you're courteous to others, they'll be courteous to you in return. It's always got to give a little to get a little. Anyone have anything they would like to add to that, or another topic or another area of radio etiquette they would like to cover? Please call now.
It recommended that in terms of when you go simplex, that you have like 2 or 3 alternate channels agreed upon with your group just to make that transition.
That is correct. Basic comms plans, which if you're in a group of people driving around out in the backcountry, you should always have, we always run with at least 3 different frequencies. Most of the time we have 5. We'll have usually 3 frequencies on 2 meter or 70 centimeter, and then 2 on the other band, whether it's UHF or VHF. And you always want to have backup frequencies. You never know when you're going to start getting interference on one band where you got to switch bands. Never know when you're going to run into someone else on the repeater and you don't want to join conversations. Easier to tell people to move to your secondary frequency or move to the frequency that you want to go to. Any other additions to that area of radio etiquette, or any areas that someone would like to see covered? Please call now. Hearing nothing, we'll move on, cover part of etiquette that kind of plays into that, joining in on a conversation that's already taken place on the radio. A lot of people will just announce their call sign, start talking, or they'll start talking without announcing their call sign. Proper courteous way to do it is as soon as one person gets done talking, they should be waiting for the repeater to drop or giving time in between for someone to break in. As soon as the one person unkeys their mic, key up right away, simply just announce your call sign. Do not say anything else, announce your call sign. If they hear you, they will, as long as being courteous, will acknowledge you and either ask you to join the conversation or ask if they can have a few minutes to finish up, and then you can have the frequency. At least that's my understanding, the way I explain it to people, try and teach people that are new to the hobby. Anyone have anything they would like to add to that? Please call now. There nothing, we'll move on to a separate area of radio etiquette. What is the common, or how often should you ID when you're on the radio, and when should you ID? What's someone else's thoughts on that? Please call now.
K0TYJ. At the beginning of a conversation, every 10 minutes, and at the end of the conversation. And repeaters make it real nice because when they beep, remind you to say your call sign.
Yes, that is FCC regulations. Is a amateur radio operator must announce their call sign at the beginning of a transmission, at the end of the conversation, or every 10 minutes, or at the end of the conversation, whichever comes first. Too often you hear people on the radio that don't announce their call sign, and I'm pretty sure everyone's guilty of it occasionally. It's the fact that, I mean, usually the people, some people might slip their mind occasionally and they'll forget, and after 15 minutes they'll announce their call sign. But hear people all the time where you can hear them talking on the repeaters for a half hour, 40 minutes, and not leaving any room for people to break in, and never IDing with their station ID. Anyone have any questions they would like to ask?
OIO. General questions or questions specifically about the topics tonight?
Yeah, we can open it up to general questions as well. I mean, we're 25 minutes into the net. We can, a lot of times general questions will start play a role in the topic discussion as well, a lot of times. So go ahead with general questions.
I have a question on soft shackles versus rated bow shackles. From a safety standpoint, like soft shackles, it doesn't snap, it's not such a deadly projectile, but like a lot of people still use steel bow shackles. So are there pluses and cons to both?
KA6ET net control for this evening's Colorado 4x4 Rescue and Recovery Net. That is a very good question and one that gets asked a lot. There are pros and cons to both of them. Steel shackles are nice whenever you're at risk of sharp objects, sharp rocks. If you're going over a pivot point, attaching directly to a frame, anything where there's anything sharp that could possibly pinch or damage your strap, rope, winch cable. The synthetic shackles, soft shackles, are a lot safer just because they don't have the mass behind them if something does break. They, believe it or not, are generally rated at a higher break strength than steel shackles. The common soft shackle that people use for standard winching, they're rated somewhere up around 12 to 15 ton. Some are higher. Most steel bow shackles are rated 10 ton, 8 ton. And so there's definite advantages and disadvantages to both. I know personally, any chance I able to, I will use a soft shackle versus a steel bow shackle just because of the mass behind it. But there are times that you do need to still use the steel shackles and just mitigate the danger in other ways if you can. Increase your danger zone area around the area being used. Make sure all kids and pets are completely clear. Does that help you out with your answer at all?
Yeah, that for sure answers the question. And as I kind of thought that they'd have advantages to those, but I watched the video on YouTube and the steel shackle go through a windshield and it absolutely scared the hell out of me.
Yes, definitely. And they can, I've seen them break. I've seen steel cables break. I've been in the area. Do it long enough, you see stuff happen that you learn to mitigate danger any way you can. Anyone else have any questions, comments, or anything they would like to add to tonight's topic? Please call now. Hearing nothing, we'll do a round of late check-ins. Do we have anyone that would like to check in at this time? Please call now.
So Echo 0 Kilo Hotel Radio, no traffic.
Net control acknowledges KE0KHR. Thank you for checking in. Do we have anyone else that would like to do a late check-in? Please call now. Hearing nothing, we'll do one last round of questions. Anyone have any questions they would like to ask the net, topic related or otherwise? Please call now. Hearing nothing, this will conclude the Colorado 4x4 Rescue and Recovery Net. We'd like to thank everyone who has checked into tonight's net. Look forward to hearing from you next week, where the topic will be trail etiquette. All right. Go with the etiquette theme for the first week of March, or last week of February, first week of March. We'll just be talking about proper trail etiquette, what you should and shouldn't do while on the trails in Colorado or anywhere. I would also like to thank the Rocky Mountain Radio League for allowing the use of their repeater for this net and the great hospitality they have shown our organization. And this is Kilo Alpha 6 Echo Tango Echo. My name's Jim, and net control for this evening's Colorado 4x4 Rescue and Recovery Net. I'd like to say 7-3. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. I will be listening for a little bit longer if there's any late questions. This repeater is now open for normal traffic.